Thank you for having me up here. I want to preface this by saying I'm asking this question very respectfully for everyone.
Very what?
Respectfully. Like, it's a genuine, I'm asking a question from a genuine wanting to uncover knowledge and clarification.
That's all right. Whatever it is.
So, okay. In your beautiful book that I loved, Ask and It Is Given, in the preface of the book, Jerry wrote that Jesus, Muhammad, Moses, Joan of Arc, Joseph Smith were all but a few outspoken recipients of non-physical intelligence. And my question is that from Jesus, Muhammad, and Moses, we've got three major world religions: Islam, Judaism, Christianity, and they are all monotheistic. And I know that you talk about reincarnation, and some of these biblical texts or religious texts, they speak about, like not reincarnation and like a judgment day. And so I just wanted clarification for my own sense of freedom and well-being. Like, does Source or will Source ever offer any condemnation? Like, even in reincarnation?
No, but man, in his receiving the calling from Source, depending on where he is, will translate it in that way. We had that conversation earlier, so apply it here. Sometimes people want us to talk about forgiveness, and we say we don't offer forgiveness because we don't have to take our condemnation back. We haven't condemned, so we don't have to stop condemning, which is what forgiveness is. But you have to understand that through time, and when you go back that far, you can't even begin to understand what people were living and what people were asking. You can't understand where they were or through what filters of resistance they were translating the call that was calling them. That's why we are encouraging, especially relative to that topic, of not looking back, of utilizing your own guidance system and showing yourself personally what it is that the Source within you knows about this topic and this topic and this topic. If you want to know how Source feels about you, be mad at yourself for a little while and feel the discord. And that lets you know that's not how Source feels about you. If you want to know how Source feels about other peoples of the world, find some reason to be really negatively focused toward any one of them or any cluster of them, and feel how Source feels different from that. Show yourself in your living of life what the Source within you knows about whatever the topic is that's important to you, because you have guidance coming forth from within. But there are large numbers who aren't tuned into their own guidance, who are looking for someone else to guide them. And so what they find is someone not stable to guide them. Most religions then and even now say to some extent, if you want to be part of our group, then you must not do those things and you must do those things. And so sometimes you want so much to belong somewhere, or so much to be good or to be right or to know which way to go. You want guidance and you haven't figured out how to tap into your own. So you will say, okay, I will do the things I'm supposed to do and I won't do the things I'm not supposed to do. And then you say, hey, wait a minute. Those people over there, they're not keeping the rules. They're doing the things they're not supposed to do and they're not doing the things they are supposed to do. And they're thriving. What's going on here? And then these very wise bastions of whatever it is that they are promoting say, well, you can't tell in this lifetime. You have to wait till after you're dead to find out how blessed or punished that you're going to be, which puts you in an impossible position, because now you got to take somebody else's word for it. You can't trust your own guidance system. And it would even be helpful if they would all say the same thing, but they don't. Because it's not about that, it's about something else, you see. So finally, through the living of life, sometimes you come to the place, and you are really there, where you want to understand. And we want to say to you that this God that so many are praying to is not a finite and complete consciousness, but expanding because of those like you. And so everything that you are exploring and asking for, that's what we've been talking about all day long. Your inner being becomes the further, more knowledgeable, more expanded, more evolved version of that, calling you to that new and improved, you see. Liquid love, No negative emotion, no pushing against, never any hatred, pure, positive energy, love. And you can tell when you've tapped into it, and you can tell when you've diverged from it. But the most interesting thing is, no matter how much your life causes any one of you to diverge from this pure love that Source offers, Source never stops loving you. You can't not get it enough to make Source say, oh, well, we give up on you. There's not ever any of that, you see.
Can I ask a question to
Yeah.
that? So even like, let's say you spend one of your lifetimes in complete discord and you do some stuff, some bad
It's
stuff.
not like that. It's not like that.
Well, if you kill some people, right, and then you're reincarnated, like, is there like a lesson to be learned? Like, is your next lifetime going to balance out what
It's
you
not
just
like that.
did? No, not
It's
at all?
not like that.
Okay.
When you reemerge into non-physical, you leave behind all doubt and fear and disconnection, and you reemerge into the pure positive energy. Those that have struggled the hardest and have got the most separated from Source are always those that act out in those revengeful ways. And when they reemerge into non-physical, they leave whatever that was behind, and they reemerge into the true, pure essence of who they are. And there are a whole lot of physical beings who look at that and don't like it, but in their not liking it, they are in that moment depriving themselves of the love of Source that the croaked one just found.
Cool. I get it.
We don't think you should have to croak to feel the loving awareness that Source has about you. That's why we talk about the things we do, so that you can tune yourself to that clarity and wisdom and freedom and joy and knowledge. Now,
Yeah, honestly, I've been practicing meditating for a while, and I've gotten to states where I just feel this pure love.
Yeah.
And it's from that feeling that it makes me go, but why are they teaching me all this stuff? Like, I went to Catholic school and whatnot, and I'm like, it's just so contrary to that feeling. And I just sat in this chair so that I could, feel the freedom of really accepting that that is God.
say to yourself about that, they were doing the best they knew, and well-being was their dominant intent. So that even in that you soothe yourself, because many people come into freedom but then still look back every now and again and condemn the time when they didn't feel free. And when you look back and condemn the time that you didn't feel free, you're not free again. And they're not doing it to you, you're doing it to you. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, you
Thank
do.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I have an 8-month-old at home. I'm very curious about babies. I've heard you talk about as soon as they're conceived, they get a stream going. They have their stream going.
That stream is their non-physical awareness.
Right. Always.
That's
always
that
with
non-physical
them. Right.
stream.
Yeah.
And at the moment that they take their first breath and have some awareness of their physical environment, now they've got 2 points of attraction and 2 points of consciousness.
Okay. So they have that a little bit of resistance.
At birth.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to clarify. They are vibrationally independent, as in they can choose for themselves?
Yes.
And they
already have.
And already have. Okay.
And let's talk about that just for a moment based upon what we just said. None of you are really ever completely vibrationally dependent from your inner being, because your inner being is momentum that came forward with you.
Can you say that again?
None of you are ever vibrationally independent from the goodness of who you really are. In other words, this source energy you is always the dominant energy and is always calling you to it. But when you try to accomplish independence from that, or let's say separation from that, you don't feel so good.
Right. But I'm talking about vibrational dependence or independence from or on other people.
We know you are, but
Okay. Oh, you wanted to clarify.
in light of what we
Okay.
just said, and we've never had such a good opportunity to say that before, it was a nugget we couldn't pass up.
Yeah. Yes.
Because so often you think you want your independence, but you don't want independence from clarity, and you don't want independence from source, and you don't want independence from vitality. The reason you want independence is because you got a vibration going on that you don't like. But the seeking of independence is not really a healthy thing, because it's a pushing against what you don't want usually. It's like people who say, I want freedom. They always mean freedom from bondage. So bondage is a big thing in the vibration, bigger usually than the freedom that they're saying with the word.
Okay, so the independence we're seeking is really independence from our resistance.
The independence that you're really seeking is independence from those who aren't your guidance system, so that you can connect and integrate with what is your guidance.
So my real...
Can you see why it was
Yes.
important to clarify this?
Yes. So the real dependence is my alignment with my inner being. I'm dependent on my inner being for the clarity, for the feeding me what I want. Am I following?
Yeah, but that word dependent is one that smacks of something that you
Right.
don't want,
Right.
but it is an
I see
accurate
that.
use of it. So let's find a better feeling word to you than, let's call it collaboration or co-creation or integration or extension of, or we're all in this together, or that we are one, or partnership. Yes. Let's not count all partnerships that aren't your inner being as flawed or not good. Let's just understand the good ones feel one way and the not good ones feel another way.
And put my focus on the good
Yeah.
ones. Okay. So for my son, it's kind of tricky, because I want for him that discovery, that knowing. I mean, he already knows that relationship with himself. I want to not get in the way. I want to not get in the way of his...
Here's the thing, and here's why it's tricky and why it doesn't need to be.
Okay.
So, do you believe that you have put your son and things about him in your vortex?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anything that you've put into your vortex, your inner being's already worked the bugs out of it and is shining a bright light on it, and all you got to do is get happy and you'll be inspired to the perfect behavior.
Okay. That's it. Yeah. Thank you.
Really good. Your children are such wonderful teachers, because they still remember all of these things that you're coming back into resonance with now. The younger they are, the more they remember, or the more... It's not about remembering or forgetting. The younger they are, the less filter they have that is keeping them from that knowing. Yeah. Yeah.